Hello, all you hardcores. Today I'm joined by Aaron. How are you doing, Aaron?
All right, Porky, you, mate.
Yeah, what you on with? See, you've got your old Michael Owen picture up.
Yeah, well, I keep getting told I sound like Michael Owen, don't I? So I'm going with it,
Is that
mate.
you?
There's a few comments on YouTube that I sound exactly like Michael Owen. So I've never had it before, mate, but I listened to a couple of Michael Owen interviews. Yeah, I can see what they're saying. So
He's from
yeah,
his
the Michael
area.
Owen of boxing. Me, no, nowhere near him. I'm a Yorkshireman like you, aren't I? So I've no idea. But I've been about a bit, you know what I mean? But no, I'm not from. He's a Welsh kid in here originally, Owen
Chester.
Chester. Yeah, he played for Wales, didn't he, as a kid? I think.
I don't know. I thought that was Ryan Giggs, wasn't it? Didn't Owen play for England schoolboys?
Well, what I think it was. Ryan Giggs played for England as a youth teamer,
Oh, that was it.
uh, and Owen played for Wales as a youth teamer, but then converted to England. So yeah, I'm not sure, mate. It'd be something to do with somebody's grandma, won't it? You know what
Fuck
they're
him
like.
anyway. He's not paying my bills. Listen, mate. Me give you a good advice. Social media. It's not real life. Just let it bounce off you, kid, like I do. It's not real. All right? Ignore it. Right. Let's get back to the business in hand here. Dubois, aka John Coffey, the cornbread fan. Can he beat Usyk this Saturday? Yes or no, Aaron?
In my eyes, no,
There you
not
go.
on the last performance.
Okay.
I don't see what else you can do in this fight that's going to trouble Usyk. Yeah, he's got a puncher's chance. We know that. He's a very strong guy. He can hit like a mule kicking. But I didn't see anything in that first fight to make me believe that he's got any chance of beating Usyk. I don't think he won a round, to be honest with you. I watched it back overnight and he got absolutely schooled. He barely landed a shot.
The only thing that they've been able to hold on to is that low blow. That's all they've held on to. That's it since it happened. And for them to get a rematch on strength of that, wow. But they did manoeuvre him with that IBF belt, but Usyk just threw that away and let him have it, and then I'll come back for that another time. So maybe Usyk's engineered all this, like he did the Joshua fight. Do you know what I mean? He got that in end, didn't he? Then he got a rematch. So Usyk's cunning like a fox, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think something that's always stood out to me is that Derek Chisora performance because although I thought he schooled Chisora, he were never in any trouble unless you're listening to Tony Bellew and Penfold ringside who were banging the drum. But yeah, I thought in that fight he held back a little bit, you know, to get Matchroom to make the Joshua fight. Um, he just didn't quite he just didn't quite go for it against Chisora. It weren't because of anything Chisora did. It's like you say, he's cunning, and he knew full well if he performed too well, they'd stay away from him. They'd do an Ortiz, you know, they'd try and sign him or something like that, keep him away from Joshua. Yeah, I just don't see. He just levels above everybody else, mate. Technically, just so good.
Mm, yeah. Since the first fight, Dubois had 66 minutes of action over three fights. Miller, a fat man, who wouldn't even be a sparring partner for Usyk, Miller ended up taking him nearly the distance. Only a few seconds left in round 10. So he's had Miller, then he's had Ergovic, who Usyk's bashed up in sparring plenty times. And then he's had a shot Joshua, who Usyk's basically ruined. Do you know what I mean? Finished him off. So I think people are getting a little bit carried away. They're getting paid. The people around the bar are getting paid. Everybody's dining out on it. They're all eating, but he hasn't shown me shit since that first Usyk fight that suggests he can win. Yeah, knock Joshua out, but come on. We're talking Joshua is shot to death. You know,
There were a lot of difference in speed between the two, weren't they? Dubois and Joshua. He had the edge on speed, didn't he? But that's what Usyk's got on Dubois. He's got the edge on speed and footwork, and he knows how to dip in and out at range, not get involved too much. He's just gonna. I think you're just gonna see another masterstroke, and I think he'll stop him again. I don't see it going distance. And like you say, Dubois has done nothing in those three fights to show me he's actually improved. Really, I don't rate Baby Miller. He's a drugs cheat. I don't rate Ergovic at all. And as you say, Joshua, he is over ill and far away, isn't he now? And I don't think Joshua's all that great himself anyway.
No.
He's got a questionable record. Has he ever been? Has he ever been in a dogfight with anybody? Really? Every time he has, he's come up short, hasn't he?
Vladimir with a dogfight.
Yeah, I suppose you're right on that one. But like you always say, Russ, he were coming off at So for 18 months. He was 40-odd-year-old with 65 fights behind him. He weren't, 5 year previous, not a chance to beat Klitschko. He ran out of steam in that fight.
You were pushing 42-year-old, 18-month on settee, correct? And it was his 69th fight.
Right.
Last fight as well. We're going
back. Yeah. He says it all, doesn't it? When you break down these resumes, as they like, Eddie Hills likes to shout about resume. When you look at it in a cold out day, a light day, you can see, there's little asterisks all over the records, and Fury's same as well, and Dubois is. So the only man who really you can't pull apart is Usyk. He goes in there, he does job. He's just a different level, mate. I love him. Absolutely love him.
Yeah. I see. I mean, they can put the Finchley Mafia, Jug Ears Oliver, and Scooby Doo, who Don Charles used to train, Daddy Don. You could put them on Talksport as many times as you want for me to big up Daniel Dubois. But when all's said and done, they're only doing it because it's a Don Charles fighter. That's all it is. You know what I mean? They're looking after their own. It's in-house media. None of them have mentioned the fact that Dubois never won a round in that first fight. Not one round. What round could you give him? What?
None. Not one. I don't think he won a 30-second spell in any round.
There you go.
Never mind a round, They're poking the bear now as well, aren't they, with this George Fox coming out, and just the disrespect towards a great man and champion like Usyk is unbelievable. It's distasteful and it's sickening to see. And I didn't have an opinion really on Dubois up until this fight. I didn't care either way. I just saw him as a bit of a dummy. But no, I want him to get cleaned out on Saturday. To be honest with you, the arrogance to treat Usyk like that, a special champion and man, is it's out of order, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? He takes it on chin Usyk, doesn't he, really? To be honest, when you look at it all, he could. I mean, he stood on edge of that ring apron a couple of years ago after Fury beat somebody, and he just climbed straight on and stared Fury out. And Fury knew it was game on after that. He's a proper man's man, Usyk. I'm in awe of him, me.
Yeah. Like when Joshua chucked his belts out at ring. He still stood there, didn't he? He still didn't interrupt when he ran that rant. He stood there and he took it. The disrespect that British fighters have shown Usyk, that calling him a rabbit, all this nonsense, it just makes us look terrible, doesn't it? It makes us look like terrible sportsmen in this country. I find it embarrassing, mate, to be honest with you.
B-side Bellew's not showing any disrespect to him. He's practically like that, isn't
he? Well, it suits Tony's narrative, though, doesn't it? It makes him, he uses Usyk to make himself look a better fighter than he was. Don't get me wrong.
I was winning a fight against this guy,
which is not true, is it? It wasn't.
We all remember Arsenal beating Liverpool 1-0 in 2001 Cup final, don't we, at Millennium Stadium? Until Michael Owen, your man, popped up, or should I say you, popped up with 2 late goals. So it's a 12-round fight, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So
the thing I think with Bellew as well is he's always happy to push narratives for the zone and for himself. And if he can fit it in there for himself to big himself up a little bit underhanded, he will, and he'll do it every time. And it suits him down to ground to call Alexander Usyk this super champion, whatnot. And no one else would have done that to me other than him. It's just nonsense. I mean, he weren't winning that fight for me. He was in the fight early doors, but Usyk he kept him on. He kept him on a jab. He kept him working hard. It were very similar to what Bertbiev did to Anthony Yard. I felt they were raving about that performance for Yard, but Bertbiev were just comfortable and he just took him out when he wanted to. Same with Usyk.
You know, if you've got the platforms, right? Like, do you know, like Box Nation? We know that Umar, IFL Umar's running the Box Nation YouTube, winning for Bricktop when they're paying him
Yeah.
a wage. Good luck to him. But if you're doing things like that, you are technically in-house media because they're not going to say anything that's going to put Bricktop in a bad light. You know, if Bricktop makes a mistake, they're like, oh, that were a bit of a bad matchup, or I don't agree with you on that, Frank. They can say it amongst a little social circle, but they're not going to put it to these people in questions. I have a massive problem with that, me. I have a massive problem with that. But if you've got the platforms, you can control the narrative. And the narrative is controlled by all of them that Daniel Dubois were robbed in the first fight and that Usyk were down for what, three and a half minutes. He could have had another minute and a half, couldn't he? But Dubois were resting at the same time as well, and he were gassing up to that point. So it works both ways. But if the referee says that's a low blow, you're going to take a breather, aren't you? And if it were a low blow, the guy's going to need to get himself together, isn't he? That's how I look at it. I mean, I think it's in bad taste. They've got the rematch. They didn't show me anything in the first fight to suggest that he could do the business in the second one. And has he so much as been in with a southpaw since Usyk beat him? Because he struggles with southpaws, Dubois. Struggled with that Kevin Lorena, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Joyce was switching as well in that fight as well.
So if he'd been beat by a southpaw who's elite and pound for pound number one, and you want to fight that guy down the line, you would at least put yourself in a professional boxing fight against another southpaw so you could learn your craft a little bit better against southpaws. That's unless he's been sparring southpaws all the time since. But like I've just said earlier, he's had 66 minutes of action against a fat man who wouldn't win a British title. Ergovic, who, well, he's going to fight David Adelaide next. So that shows you where he's at. And then Joshua. Would Joshua even beat David Adelaide?
I think anyone with a pulse right now in the top 25 could give AJ. He could starch him. I think he's that far gone.
Well, that's why they're not going to put him in with anybody, Aaron. That's why they're going to wait for the big PK, aren't they?
Well, I'm absolutely beyond sick of that one. Either do it or get rid of them both for me because I'm sick of hearing about it not happening.
Yeah.
Been over 10 years now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not good, is it, mate?
No, it's back to. I mean, we've had some good fights in the last few years. I know, thanks to His Excellency, but we've had some big fights, and that's the only one that's still stood about really that people are waiting on. And I think everyone's had enough of it. And Fury's in and out of retirement. Who knows why? Is it so he don't get tested while he's retired, whatnot? Yeah, I just don't know what to make of it anymore. I just think, I just feel like it's never going to happen. And if not, stop talking about it and get out of the sport.
They sparred 14 years ago,
Yeah.
So, and they had that 2 rounds, and that were it. 14 years ago. So it's been 14 years in the making. And it's not happened. So what they've done, they've gone around everything and they're trying to meet at the end. But what they've done, they've got that greedy. So it started here. Then they were saying, yeah, it should happen. No, let's let it grow. Let's let it go. It's got that big. It's now dying down and it's coming to end. And it's overkill like Mayweather and Pacquiao. They've gone down every avenue to get as much money as they can in. And they're both worth what? An estimated value of $250 million each. So they've had between them $500 million with everything around boxing plus boxing. And now it's come to the stage where Joshua, they daren't put him in with anybody in case he gets flogged. And I mean, anybody. Anybody. I mean, Joshua, to say they were going to have loads of fights and do this and do that, he had them 4 quick comeback fights, then got beat. He's been out of action getting on for a year now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looked terrible to me against Elenius. I thought he looked awful in that fight. He struggled with Pulev at times. He had to have rounds off. Ngannou's just a circus act fight. He's never boxed. You may as well put him in the best dominant local area. Do you know what I mean? In terms of a boxing ring, you know. And well, the other kid, the short American guy, I forget his name now, went in with
Frank,
Dillian White. Franklin. He's a decent club level fighter. You know. Not so they're not fights. Oh, there's Walling as well. I mean, they're not guys who are going to prepare you to get in a ring with someone like Dubois, are they? You know, some young hungry lion. It's just they know they're not pulling wool over anybody's eyes.
Ngannou.
Well, Ngannou, he's not a boxer. You know, although he probably did beat Fury, didn't he? If we're being honest, I
Yeah.
mean that was a shocking
Fury
performance. It
didn't
was
train for that
unbelievable.
fight, mate. He didn't train for it.
But even then, we've just seen what Dave Allen could do if he don't train. Would Dave Allen beat Ngannou?
Yeah, I
He
think.
would, wouldn't he? Would he have to train to beat him? So to me, there's no reason Fury can use that excuse. He's at such a level, he should be able to just pitter patter around ring and not get clipped. He ended up on his backside, didn't he?
I'm thinking about doing a Dave Allen, Aaron, and doing a video that says, I'm addressing the mean comments about my patio. Dave, if you were to look at some comments that come through about me and get stuff behind me or what car I drive or how I look and all that, or especially look at some of the personal emails, you would absolutely howl. You'd howl more than Cameron when he deals with emails, mate. Pop, pop, bang. Dave must be running out of content now. But my opinion is, Dave, you're overkilling yourself now. Stick to boxing. So, okay. Do you want to go on to part two, Aaron?
Yep, can do, mate.
I'll
Catch you
see
there.
you on part two. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. And thanks for tuning in to listen to Aaron. He's new to the channel and he's a nice kid. He loves his boxing. All right. Peace out.